Hello and welcome to the show. Well, we've got a great show planned for you. I am excited. I've been talking about new beginnings all year long. It's time for you to do what God has purposed you to do. It's all about new beginnings, new opportunities. This month, we're celebrating Amazing Mothers. Yes, the Beauty of Motherhood series. And this week, today, I am honored to have a special guest. Phenomenal, amazing. She is Brigadier General retired Twanda E. Young, and she's here with us, and she's got a lot to tell us about her career and about motherhood. So I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy because it's coming up next. Be the Bridge Foster SC is hosting its first Bridge Walk-a-thon on Saturday, May 20th, 2023, 10:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Eddystone Memorial Gardens, 200 Riverside Drive, Orangeburg, South Carolina. To register for the walk, visit www.bethebridge-fostersc.org. Again, that's Be the Bridge Foster SC is hosting its first Bridge Walk-a-thon on Saturday, May 20th, 2023, 10:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Eddystone Memorial Gardens, 200 Riverside Drive, Orangeburg, South Carolina. To register for the walk, visit www.bethebridge-fostersc.org. You're invited to the Summer Pop-Up Shop Saturday, July 22nd, 2023 from 10 to 4 p.m. Orangeburg County Conference Center, 1643 Russell Street. Vendors and food trucks. Shop your local brands. For more information, Tammy Media Group, LLC.com. Again, you're invited to the Summer Pop-Up Shop Saturday, July 22nd, 2023 from 10 to 4 p.m. Orangeburg County Conference Center, 1643 Russell Street. Vendors and food trucks. Shop your local brands. For more information, Tammy Media Group, LLC.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. Listen, I am so glad that you could join us. I've been talking about this and I've been excited all week long because we have the opportunity to speak with someone that I admire. And I tell you what, when you hear her speak, you hear her talk, you're just going to love her just like I do. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She's decorated U.S. Army veteran with more than 30 years of military service. She grew up in Darlington, South Carolina. She is the devoted wife to her longtime sweetheart and boyfriend, Mr. Tracy B. Young. And they have she's the parent of two beautiful grown daughters, Leah and Tyra. And she's also a Claflin grad, Claflin University trustee, board of trustee. Can I go on and on and on? But when I tell you amazing, phenomenal, these are the words that come up when I want to describe her. Let me introduce you to her. It is Brigadier General retired Twanda Young, and I'm going to call her BG Young. Come on out, BG.
Hi.
How are you?
I am doing phenomenal. I'm doing phenomenal.
Listen, it is such a pleasure for me to have you on the show. You don't know, when I first read about you and met you years ago, especially when we were at Claflin, I was like, oh man, she is just phenomenal, amazing. And to have a brigadier general, my brother served in the military for 35 years, Army or and my sister, she just retired. My sister-in-law, she just retired, nurse. They both are nurses. She's a major, and so I tell you, I just thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you have done for our country and what you continue to do in our country and for our community. So, without further ado, I've got to ask you these questions, but we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk, BG.
Good.
Tell us,
Let's just
tell us about
have a
yourself.
conversation.
That's right. Tell us about yourself and your family.
Well, as you shared earlier, I'm from Darlington, South Carolina, or like we like to call it, Kakalaki. And I am one of seven children. I'm the youngest of seven. My brother served in the military. My sister served. Their spouses have served. I come from a long lineage of individuals that have given of themselves to serve the the nation, if you will. My
Mm-hmm.
mom, Pastor Annie Lou Williamson, who has been pastoring for over 30 years, the St. Paul True Vine Pentecostal Holiness Church of God Incorporated. My dad, Sweet Willie, or Deacon Willie Williamson, as we call him, who will be turning 90 this year, and my mom turning 89. So we are tremendously blessed. As you shared, I live with my boyfriend of 30 years. Come June 13th, will be 31 years. And we've been blessed with two heartbeats, Leah and Tyra. So that's a little
Wow.
bit about a snot-nosed kid from Darlington, South Carolina.
How about that? Let me tell you what, and as we're gonna pause right here. We're gonna take a pause for the cause. Cause Leah, we want to tell you congratulations, my
Yes,
darling.
yes. I
Wow.
was, which goes, apropos of the theme for today's discussion. I was a proud mama sitting there on last Saturday as she walked across the stage at Tuskegee University, getting her master's in veterinary science,
Mm,
one step closer to her goal of being a veterinarian.
Well, Leah, congratulations. And I know that was doing that just the masters and it look just a BS, a bachelor's, but then a master's, come
Yeah,
on. In veterinary science, and it's not a lot of, like we were saying, not a lot of black females
not a lot,
in that.
not a
But
lot.
you shared with me that you were so proud to see all of the black women, the females that had graduated in that class.
Yes. It was a class of well over 100, and
Mm.
about 60 of those class members were female. So, I was sitting there saying, girl power, happy for all of them. But I was tremendously proud of those females walking across the stage. I mean, they are going to make a tremendous change in our society
Yeah.
when it comes to veterinary medicine.
Yeah. And just like you have made, you're a trailblazer because when I think about you as a brigadier general, now I've only met one other general that my aunt, who is 100 years old, my daddy's sister
Wow.
now, they were friends. And I believe he's deceased, and I cannot remember his name, but he was African American. And I've only had the opportunity to meet one general. For me to meet another one and then just be able to touch you and call you, I'm just excited. You don't know what that means for a woman of color like me to see women like you who have accomplished so much and in your 30 years of military service. And so I want to go back and ask you who or what influenced you to go into the Army.
Well, when I was there at Claflin, I was the first generational student from my family to go to college. So, mom and dad coming from humble beginnings, going to college, I was told go to college and don't come back until you come back with a degree. So when I went, uh, a friend of mine told me about ROTC giving you a stipend. So that was extra
Mhm.
money in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And then my advisor, when I went to talk to my advisor about taking ROTC, which would have given me 21 hours, which was over the course load. And when he told me, he said, well, I don't think that you can maintain your 3-point average that you need to keep your scholarship. So I told him, I said, well, you signed the document. Let me show you. And got into it and really enjoyed it. And because I've seen, as I shared, my sister, Master Sergeant retired McNair, was in the military. My brother, who was in the military, got out as an E7. Just seeing the and hearing the stories, if you will, ear hustling of the stories that they will be telling about some of the adventures, as I thought they were from from looking outside and listening to those conversations. I said, wow, that's something I wouldn't mind doing. I definitely don't want to go back home and work in the cotton fields and the tobacco fields, because that's what my mom had me do before I went to college, for me to understand you don't want to come back here. So that was really it, getting that stipend. And at the time that I went to college, there was a Bojangles at the corner. We would go and take our little monies that we had and get what we call a buffet meal of 2 wings and a biscuit and a cinnamon twist. So that really sparked from there on. I got in it, relationships, and just continued.
But for you to be promoted after promotion after promotion, and then being a woman of color, what was that experience like for you?
It was interesting. I will tell you, it wasn't an easy road to hoe, as my mom would say. There were a lot of challenges, but there were a lot of victories. I won't say failures, because failure to me, I redefine failures as another opportunity to succeed.
That's right.
So as I went through, going from one to the other, there was a time when I thought I should have been promoted and didn't get promoted. And really, I shared that with one of my mentors, and I said, hey, I did everything the Army asked me to do, and why did I not get promoted? The board got it wrong. And she replied back to me, so did the board get it wrong when they promoted you to captain? Did they get it wrong when they promoted you to major? Did they get it wrong when they promoted you to lieutenant colonel? And of course, my reply was no. She said, then why do you think they didn't get it wrong with not promoting you this time? Maybe there's something you need to learn, something more that you need to put in your toolkit before you're ready to go to the next level. And that has always stuck with me, that you may not get it when you think you desire to get it, but God gives it to you when he thinks you're ready.
Yeah, always on time, always on time.
Always.
And so how did, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to switch into talking about motherhood, but wanted to find out from you, how did being in the Army affect your family? What were some of the challenges? What were some of the things that the family had to go through in order for you to continue your journey?
Well, everybody laughs when I introduce Tracy as my boyfriend, but Tracy's really my hero. Going through, there were a lot of sacrifices that had to be made by the family. And Leah and Tyra had to make those sacrifices and be resilient. There was a stint in my career where I was gone for 3 years straight. And Tracy had them from 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. He taught them how to drive. He went through the boy woes, all of that stuff while mom was gone. And to see the resilient, well-rounded women that they are, I contribute to him and his guidance and teaching and time spent with them. Mom gave, but giving honor where honor is due. Dad did a hell of a lot more than what the norm is expected of a husband to do.
Wow.
And he stood in the gap, as we would say, when mom was off doing those things, chasing that career. He stood there. So my girls, when I thought that they might want to go into the military, they was like, "Nah, mom, we're good."
So you good.
One is enough. One is enough. But through that process, I thought there were times I thought, being in the military, maybe I'm sliding them because every 3 years, of course, we moved. So that means a new grouping of friends. That
Right.
means new garnering of relationships, redefining yourself in that space, that school now that you're in. And I could not have been more wrong that those experiences, being around multiple cultures, allowed for them to be able to be very agile and flexible in any situation. They can sit and talk with anyone, have an intelligent conversation, not go into a conversation with biases because that person doesn't look like them, but have a very good engagement with other people. So I'm thankful that they have grown to be the young ladies and my heartbeats that they are. No, don't get me wrong, they can be pains.
That's children, period. I have a 28-year-old. Yes.
I'm a straight shooter. But I will tell you that I have more smiles than I ever will have frowns for what they've done. I'm tremendously proud of them and tremendously proud of Tracy. It takes a lot for a man to be with another woman at the rank that he and I got to. And I say he and I because I couldn't have gotten to Brigadier General without him. But to be such a great supporter, to be such a great encourager, it's like pastors in churches. They're great out on the pulpit on Sunday morning, but when they come home, they're human, right?
That's right.
There's things that they deal with that the congregation may not see. And for him to be holding my shoulders up, packing my bag when it's time for me to go on a trip, printing out my speeches, reading my speeches, kind of saying, baby, that's not, you might not want to say that ain't right. You might want to say something else. So for me, he and my family have been tremendous throughout these 32 years.
Wow. And so, Willie, we have those pictures and we want to show, because I want you to talk about each one of them as we show the pictures and tell us what's happening in these pictures. All right.
On last
Yay!
time graduated. Yes. So she graduated from Tuskegee University. Yeah.
And then we have
that's us in Fort Knox. Leah and I, along with Tracy, went to the Kentucky Derby. So we had to have the hats on.
Oh,
like
yes.
I said, I look like my mama with that.
I see you. Yeah. Looking good.
And that's my doppelganger. That's Tyra right there.
Tyra.
Yeah, we're in Hawaii.
Yeah,
they came to visit us in Hawaii. Yeah.
Wow. And then I think we have, there's the man.
That's my Angus. That is my Angus and my boyfriend. Yes, Mr. Tracy Bernard Young.
Wow.
Yeah, and he is currently working on his doctorate degree. So
go ahead, doctor.
I am so proud of him.
Go ahead, doctor. That's wonderful.
Right. That's right.
That is wonderful. Well, I thank you so much for sharing. We have the picture of your mother, Pastor Anna, Annie, and as you say, Deacon Willie.
Deacon Willie Williamson. That's right, sweet Willie. Yeah, that right there. That when you talk about my foundation, and how did I get to where I am, and why do I do things the way I do things? These two people are the people that seeded into my life, that modeled before me what right looks like.
And what did you learn while we're talking about motherhood? Because I'm going to take a break in a little bit, but what did you learn from your mother that you are teaching your girls now?
My mom instilled in us, your word is your bond. If your word is no good, you're no good, which centers around your character and your moral values. I have seen my mom give of herself effortlessly and sometimes to a fault to help someone else. So giving of ourselves to help better someone. She's always taught, as well as my dad, that, I might be Brigadier General Young, but what does that title mean if I'm not doing something with it? The title is not me. I'm not the title. I make the title. by my actions. So hardworking, both of them very hardworking. My mom and my dad have been married for this year 73 years.
Wow.
So commitment, dedication, those things have been instilled in me.
Wow,
And being
congratulations.
yourself. My mom has never been one, or my dad, to put on airs of being something that you're not. I am a brigadier general. I'm probably the unorthodox kind, because I actually probably will talk to you. But at the end of the day, I'm just Tia. I'm Tia, who has been blessed with the opportunity to have made it to the rank of brigadier general, to have the influence. But it's how I use that influence it makes it most important.
And one of the questions that I know that was sent in is, what is the role of a brigadier general? What is it like being a brigadier general for you?
I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I was queen of the castle. So I enjoyed it. But you know what? The biggest thing that I enjoyed most about being a brigadier general were the people, my soldiers, my civilians, my contractors. Having the opportunity to help my people reach their goals. A brigadier general is normally going to be over large units. My former unit that I retired out of, Human Resource Command out of Fort Knox, Kentucky, had well over 3,500 employees. And I was a deputy commanding general there. So we are put there to be able to oversight the large units, to work on complex and ambiguous problems, and to strategize on how to help the Army meet its mission in protecting our nation.
Wow. And you did that with ease, I can tell. Hard work.
It was fun.
I know you had fun. And to see you as an African American woman, and not many brigadier generals are African American women. Am I correct in saying that?
You are correct. There are not many of us,
that's a blessing.
Not, people ask me, because South Carolina State has 22 generals, and I'm the only female general out of that group. And they say, well, you must feel great to be the only, female general. I said, it's nice, but what I don't want to be is the only one. So let's grow some more. Let's seed into others that can reach and exceed what I've done.
Wow. And that's the purpose of what you do, you said, as a general, making sure that you bring others up the rank.
That's right.
Wow. So we're going to take a break. Will you stay with me for a little while? Because I still have some other questions about motherhood and some lessons that you've learned being a mother and those types of things. And so I want to take a break, and then we'll come back and chat some more. Okay? Thank you so much, BG. We'll be right back, folks.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
My name is Randy Dantrell Heath, and you are watching The Tammy Show.
Welcome back. I'm with Brigadier General Retired Twanda E. Young. Folks, if you're just joining me, you know, this is the beauty of motherhood. And I tell you what, you are joining us at a great time, because I just finished talking with BG, Twanda Young, about her career and about motherhood. But we're going to really dive into some more of the motherhood. Thank you again for joining me, BG.
You're welcome. It's great to be here.
Yes, ma'am. So how has motherhood, through the years, how has motherhood changed you? Being a mother, how has it changed you?
It's made me more patient, made me more observant. I have not, I have not slept since I had kids. You sleep with one eye open kind of thing, of wanting to make sure that they're okay. But it has taught me, to see Leah and Tyra grow and see the metamorphosis of how they have changed over time. It reminds you of things that you did as a kid that you say, why are you doing this? But I used to do it. So how can I tell you not to do it? Right.
Right.
But it just changes your outlook on things.
Mm-hmm.
You're more astute to just the small details of what they're doing, and you want to make sure that their day is going well, and that they are, even at 29 and 30, I want to make sure that the day is going well. I want to make sure that life is going well, that they have what they need to sustain themselves. So as my husband says, now that they're 29 and 30, I've gone from being that helicopter mom of now being a consultant. I consult. So I say, I give for your consideration. You might want to look at it this way. So as opposed to when I was growing up, look, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
That right there is not going to work. You need to go ahead and do this and be done with it. So I'm a little bit more lenient and more mindful of my advice that I give these days.
Yeah. I know the feel. My daughter's 28 years old, Catherine. I know exactly what you're saying. Back then we said, now listen, now you're not gonna be doing that. We're not gonna have that.
That's right.
But now, let me suggest this to you. Let me make this suggestion. Yeah.
There's a couple of options you may want to consider.
Exactly. What do you think was the most challenging time for you being a mother, and how did you overcome that?
Most challenging time for me would have been when I was in command as a young mother, young married. We had just gotten married not too long. When we got married, Leah was actually there. She didn't know she was there, but she was there. And then 6 months later, we had Tyra. So, it changed just my whole persona of how I dealt with things. The strategies that I used changed, before how I dealt with my nieces. It was because they weren't my kids. So, you get over here and do such and such and such. And, the spanking, I told my mom, I said, I will never spank my kids. That's just insane. I will never. Oh yeah. I tapped it if necessary. And it just changes you, but it gives you so much joy as well. To see them grow, to see you teach them something from the little thing of them being able to read, and now Leah is she's published articles, she hosts her own podcast, to see from Tyra's perspective of being able to, now she's working in education, she's an operations manager. I mean, it's just it's good stuff. It's good.
That's
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. I'm a proud mom. Yes, I am.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Wow, that's amazing. And what do you think has been your biggest accomplishment as a parent?
Oh, wow. Ooh. I would say, before as I was sharing earlier, that there was a time when I got passed over. And when I first put in for GO, and you
Hmm.
don't know whether you are selected or not, you just don't come out on the list, but you could have been selected because they didn't have a job for
Hmm.
you according to your particular skills, then your name just doesn't come out on the list. And I remember I said, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire at Colonel. That's that within itself is a feat to make it to that level, and I'm okay. It's time for me to retire and have some family time. And Tyra wrote me a letter. She was 17 at the time, and she wrote me a letter, and she said, "Mom," in that letter, paraphrasing, um, "I don't know why God did not allow for you to get promoted. Maybe it just was not your season. Why don't you try one more time? If not for you, for the family."
Mm.
And I tried and I got promoted.
Wow.
I think the
Mm.
biggest thing that I would say that I've shared in teaching them is going after your goal and sticking to it. And there are going to be challenges, there's going to be hiccups, but have the fortitude to keep pushing. If that is
Mm.
what you think is your purpose, then continue to push and move
Mm.
toward that goal. So now, of course, Tyra says because of her, I got promoted. Uh, Slightly probably is, but I think God had a whole lot to do with it. But we'll give her no props. Uh, but now my kids go after stuff with just pushing forward very hard. If it is something they desire to do, they go after it with all that they have. And I think
Mm.
that's the biggest thing that I have taught them,
Talk down.
and keeping your word. I'm really about keeping your word because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, your name is all you have,
That's right.
and keeping your word is attached to your name.
That's
So it's
right.
how you treat people, how you interact with people. I think that speaks to your character.
Hmm. Wow.
Those would be a couple of things I think I've seeded
Wow.
into them.
And I was just shedding a tear because hearing that letter from Tyra, that kind of it did something to me just by you saying it, just paraphrasing what she did. I can only imagine what the whole letter said, but just the paraphrase of it may not be your season, but try again and try for the family. Wow, that's phenomenal. I mean, wow. So that did something to me just now. So thank you, Tyra. Thank you, Tyra. Thank you to Tyra. So let's go back because I want to now, as we're talking about motherhood, we still are talking about career because all of this goes hand in hand. What was your biggest accomplishment in your career? Brigadier General, but I know there was something.
Mm. There were many, but I will tell you two that come to mind. Was the day I got promoted. I was driving through Fort Bragg, and of course, to get on post, you have to show your ID, and my ID had already changed to
Mm.
with Brigadier General on it. I was just, had to go through the ceremony, but I was in Colonel's clothing, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
the young man that was standing at the gate was a specialist, and he was an African American. And they look at your card, they have to check it to make sure you're good to go. And because I'm an officer, they have to salute. And he looked at my card, he looked at me. He looked at my card and he looked at me. And I said, I know. They promoted me, man. I'm in awe as well. And, I said, but if I can do it, you could be a sergeant major someday or whatever it is you aspire to be. And when I got ready, he gave me back my ID card and I got ready to drive off. He reared those shoulders back very strongly
Mm.
and he gave the sharpest salute.
Mm.
He was cheesing. I mean, he was just smiling. I could see him in my rearview mirror. And to me, that was it was like, okay, God, so this
Mm,
is why you're promoting me, is to give hope, to give
mhm,
someone the idea of the possibility of what they could be and can
mhm,
be if they put in the work and stay
mhm,
focused and stay on the right side of right. That they don't have to let their guard down and do something uh, that's not right in order to get to where they want to be. So that was
mhm,
one. Number two would be for me, I had the honor, tremendous honor of presenting the medals and flag to a fallen soldier that was missing in action. And
mm,
he was a Tuskegee Airman,
mm,
Captain Everett Dixon.
mm,
And I gave them to his daughter, who at the age she was at, Miss Marla was at the age of 2 when she last saw her dad.
mm,
And to be able to kneel and present those medals and present that flag and to give back to her a piece of her dad. A
mm,
cross was found. He loved music. So one of the picks that he used on his guitar was found. To give that back to her and to be a part of that memory is something that will stay with me until I die. And,
mhm,
and it speaks to when we say the words of "we will never forget," that the Army that day showed me. We never will forget. We have gone to the end to make sure that this family has some closure and to be
mhm,
a part of that. And we stay in contact till this day with her and her family. Um, that to
mm.
me just it gives me goosebumps to
Me too.
remember about kneeling there and talking to her and the 21 gun salute and yeah, that
Uh,
those two things
yeah.
highlight. Yeah.
Just you talking about it gives me goosebumps. I mean, because it means a lot to a family, I know, and to you to be able to do something. As you said, you're not just a brigadier general. You were not just brigadier general. You were there to serve and to make sure that you took care of people. Like your mother said, make sure you take care of everybody, the commitment, the dedication.
Yeah.
And so to hear you talk about those two instances, especially with the Tuskegee Airmen, I mean, I'm sitting here like, wow. You know, you're like a little child. Okay, tell me
Tell me
more.
more. Tell me
Tell
more.
me, tell me more. Tell me more. Well, but I know that you have a lot to share with everyone, and I hope one day you're going to write a book. If you haven't started writing it,
Mm,
let me
mm,
know.
mm. You know,
Let me
I have that. I have that on the to do list.
Okay.
I just haven't pushed the button to do it, but I need to. I need to. Thank you for that encouragement and the
Yeah.
reminder.
And I will support you 100%. You just let me know what you need. I'll be
Appreciate
right there for you,
Thank
BG. So I want to go back to now. What's happening now in your life? You're retired. What does that feel like?
you. Yay! I got time back in my life. You know, when I first retired, uh, many people ask me, "So, how do you feel about being retired?" You know, how and when you first retire, at least for me, it was a bag of mixed emotions, and because you're leaving something you've been with for 32 years,
Hmm.
and to do that transition takes time, and you're second guessing. At least I was second guessing myself, not to the point of should I retire, because I am a believer to everything there's a season and a reason, um,
Mm-hmm.
and that it was just time. It was like God saying, okay, it's time for you to retire. This is it. This is the time for you to be able to go, and you met your goal of what you wanted to do, and let's go do something else. There's much more I have for you. Are you going to have the faith to step out and do it? And Tia on the other side was like, but I know, Lord, but are you sure this is what can you send me a memo? Can you send me a text? But once after that first year, and I will tell you, in that first year, I knew it was uh, the right time to retire because Tracy's mom, Miss Bessie, who transitioned last July, I was able to have time to spend with her and be there with her and support her and love on her. And had I still been in uniform, I would not have had time to be able to just dedicate myself to her and to the family. So that told me Tracy and I had made the right decision, that it was time to transition and move on to something different. So since I've been retired, I have been enjoying. I'm an executive in residence at Bowie State University. I'm also a professor there. So I teach leadership and mediating conflict in the workplace. So that's my way of giving back and sharing my knowledge of 32 years. And I am, as you shared, I'm on the board of trustees for Claflin University. I'm on the board of trustees for the Army War College. And I do volunteering in the community and spending time with my boyfriend. Just, if we want to get up and jump top to Myrtle Beach or jump top to Texas, we have the beauty of being able to do that. And me being able to be there for him now that he's going to his doctoral. So it's the tides have turned where it's now my chance and my honor and opportunity to be there and encourage him and be his supporter and hold his shoulders up when he needs to tell him that he can't do it. He will do it. We will walk across that stage. They will introduce us one day as Dr. and Brigadier General Tracy and Twanda Young. But we just went to Alaska. So I got a snow machine ride and do all kinds of things I thought I never would do. I've been enjoying it.
Well, I think I saw that picture. Didn't you send us that picture? Didn't Willie? Don't we have that one when you were in a snowsuit? And I think that's it.
There you go. Right there in Alaska. Yeah.
Wow.
We attended the 2023 Iditarod. Don't I look bad? I look like I'm bad Mama Jamma right
bad.
now.
You bad.
My dad would say that's a tough motor scooter right there.
Yeah. Bad Mama Jamma. I tell you what. Now, Brigadier General, I've enjoyed talking to you. And we can talk forever. But I want to ask you, what is the takeaway as viewers are listening? Because we've been talking about mother, talking about your career. What's the takeaway that you want our viewers to glean from this interview?
I would say reach beyond your current state. Reach for that goal that's going to stretch you, going to challenge you. Redefine what you would normally call failures as an opportunity to re-strategize and go after your goals. But when you meet your goals, share with others how you got to the place you got to. Don't keep it bottled up, share it. And for the women that are out there, the mothers, I say happy Mother's Day. And remember, as women, empowered women empower other women. So we share what we have to make the other woman better, to get further to reaching their goal than maybe we did. We don't keep it to ourselves. Help someone. I challenge you that when you're in the grocery store, pay for the person's food behind you or in front of you. When you're at the gas station, pay for someone else's gas. If you see someone in need, stop, because that could be you or me. And you never know, that could be the next president that might just be down on their luck. Could be the next CEO that just need a helping hand. So do for them what you would want someone to do for you, had that been you that someone was walking by. Enjoy life.
Enjoy life.
You deserve it.
Well, I know you are enjoying life, and these nuggets that you just shared with us, I've written them all down. I'm a writer, so I love to write things. And so as you're talking, I'm making these notes. And just to just to be able to take this time with you. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you, and all that you are doing and have been doing, and what an example you are to us as women, and to me as an African American woman who has been on television for years. But just being able to sit down and chat with you has been my honor. And I really want you to know that. So I'm going to ask you the last thing, 3 words that describe you, BG.
3 words that describe me is the meal principle. I love to motivate, inspire, and I don't mind leading when I need to.
Motivate, inspire, and lead.
The meal principle.
Wow.
And I
I
have,
like that.
I mean, that's the meal principle. But if you would say for me, what in this new season, I would say that I have a P3 mentality. I'm persistent, I persevere, and I have the patience to allow God's plan for my life to work out.
Come on, preacher. Preach.
Oh, please don't do that. My mama will hear this. No. I'm the child they pray for.
Well, Pastor Annie, listen, she said a word just then. She said a word just then. And I want to thank your family for their sacrifice, for what you've done for our country. And I've got to say, Dr. Tracy, man, go for it. Continue. Right. I'm looking forward to hearing that you have now completed and you are now called Dr. Tracy Young.
Yes.
So congratulations. And Leah, listen, if you need anything, Leah, your mother and I talking, so we got something for you as well. And Tyra. So you all just continue to be what you are doing, and be all that God has for you. I'm just grateful. And again, I thank you. If you have any questions for me, BG, I'm open, an open book.
I appreciate you. I thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
In the positive manner in which you're doing, and in sharing story, and allowing persons like myself to be able to share a little bit behind the veil of my story. I encourage you to continue doing what you're doing. I know it cannot always be easy, and that there are challenges, but again, those challenges are opportunities for you to dig a little deeper and move a little higher. So stay focused.
Thank you, BG. Thank you, Brigadier General Twanda E. Young. I tell you, it's been great having you on the show. And know that if there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to call. I got it, and I got you. Speed dial.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Call me.
I will. Thank you. Listen, you all have a wonderful day. Happy Mother's Day to you and to your family. Thank you again so much for being on the show. Happy Mother's Day, Pastor Annie. Thank you.
All righty.
I know she's watching. Take care of yourself. God bless. Love you. Bye-bye. Listen, as I told you, I have enjoyed this. I don't know about you, but this has been one of the best interviews that I've had in a very, very long time. And it has been an honor. Can you imagine Brigadier General retired Twanda E. Young was on the Tammy show? Come on, y'all. Boy, I am honored. Thank you again, Brigadier General. Listen, I want to thank you viewers for always tuning in to Tammy right here on the show. We've got a lot planned. Let me tell you, next week, another phenomenal woman. Shaq's mother is coming on, y'all. Miss Lucille will be here with me next week. And so I want you to make sure that you tune in. You've tuned in to Brigadier General, and now we've got another amazing and phenomenal woman coming on. And Shaq's mother is here. She's going to be talking about her book, and we're going to be talking about motherhood. And she's going to be talking about the Shaq attack. And you never know if he's going to show up or not. Who knows? So just be wary and enjoy what we're bringing to you. As I said, just thank you for tuning in, and I want to thank all my producers, as of course Alicia, Willie, thank you, Tiana and Felicia, thank you so much. Remember, please subscribe to the Tammy TV show. All you have to do is go to YouTube, subscribe to the Tammy TV show, hit the red button, and yes, it's going to give you notifications about when the show is coming on. I love you all. Remember, I say, let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. I love the Lord, and I love you all. So remember, take care of yourself. Until the next time, take care. Bye-bye. Coming up on the next Tammy, I'm going to be speaking with Dr. Lucille O'Neill, author of Walk Like You Have Somewhere to Go. And guess what? This is Shaquille O'Neal's mother, so she has a lot to tell us. She's got a lot to share about motherhood and about career. So I want you to join us on Facebook and on the YouTube channel, The Tammy TV Show, Thursdays at 7 p.m.